What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals. Thank you, Movie Meal patrons. We're just getting right into it. Go get some merch. I'll link down in the description. Go check us out on the podcast. We're here to review The Menu, the new kind of horror thriller movie out. Both saw it last night. So this will be a quick little review. Kyle, what were your positives of The Menu?
Well, for those who may not know what The Menu is, it's a movie that has a bunch of rich corporate elitist type people being invited to a fancy dinner out on a remote island. And things aren't as they appear to be once they start meeting the chef, who is played by Ralph Fiennes. And I became very impressed by this movie after seeing it because it kind of harkened back to our conversation on our last podcast episode where we were talking about how horror is many different types of ways because it can get you scared in different types of ways. And with this one, it isn't straightforward horror necessarily, but it's that suspense thriller that makes you unnerved. It makes you get under your skin and on the edge of your seat. And the movie did a great job of doing that by making me take the movie seriously and with its premise, with its themes that it was presenting itself and was making me so that way I cared about what was going on with these people who were invited to this island, but then at the same time, there's a nice comedic element of it, which works really well and made me laugh quite a lot more than I was ever expecting. And it was just a really good balance between taking itself seriously and also kind of being in on the well, not being in on the joke necessarily, but at least it just has good comedic moments that undercut, the heaviness and the really bad situation that everyone is in. And it's a large part because the movie works well with Ralph Fiennes in a terrific role that, again, just makes you unnerved, gets under your skin, but he just takes command of the screen. He's a talented actor, obviously, but he just takes command of this movie and does an excellent job. And that goes with Anya Taylor-Joy. She was a great protagonist in this movie. I like that she was in the lead. She was a very good character that I cared for, and she and Ralph Fiennes' character have a really good dynamic to where you're almost not trustworthy of either one, and it just becomes a dynamic in a relationship that really works throughout the whole movie. And yeah, I just really enjoyed the themes that this movie was doing, but also just the playfulness of the elements that this movie was working with. So I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I had a really good time with this one. It's definitely more thriller than it is horror. Um, I think all the performances are fantastic. We know who Anya Taylor Joy and Ray Fiennes are. I mean, they've been around for a long time. Raisin
Mm.
Ralph, whatever you want to call him, Oscar-winning actor, I believe. He's incredible. I liked seeing him in this role. Anya Taylor Joy was obviously amazing. Nicholas Holt did a very good job. All there were a lot of character actors in here who have seen in so many things who are fantastic. This is a cool step for this director who is making the jump from TV. He directed a lot of Shameless, great show, Game of Thrones, The
Mm.
Succession, great show, and he's getting into the movie game now. And this was a great.
Nice.
Oh, I'm dying. Excuse me, I'm gonna cough a lot. There, he does a great job shifting over to movies. It's a great cast. It was a really great film. It was a pleasant surprise for me. I had a very good time with it and the direction it was going. It felt like throughout the whole movie, I just never knew what was going to happen next, and I loved that. I loved that I wasn't guessing, didn't want to guess. They subverted my expectations in the best of way. They brought things back. They foreshadowed. It was a wonderful little film. What were your negatives?
The supporting cast is terrific. I just wish that they were able to have a bit more to really uh uh have me care and not care for them at the same time, just a tiny bit more, because I just wanted to know some of the ins and outs of who these characters were because they were interesting in the small moments that they had. But I think that probably would have been detrimental to the crisp runtime that this movie had because I thought that this movie was paced very well and it wasn't a movie that felt long by any means. So the supporting cast, when they are needed in the right moments, they really do come to play. So it's not a major criticism. I just really enjoyed the characters because this writer director clearly had a good vision for what this movie was and for what types of characters need to be in this movie to really portray what they're trying to say. But I did not know that their initial work was in television, but I was very impressed because this didn't feel like this was a first timer in like the movie realm by any stretch of the means. From the cinematography to the way that shots are composed to just the themes that this movie was trying to do, it all worked really well for me. I was very impressed by this movie. I have a feeling that I'm going to be thinking about it too. It's going to be one of the movies of this year where I keep thinking about it more and more and like it as I do.
And a lot of a lot of these shows though, when you talk Succession, Game of Thrones, even Shameless at times, bigger budgets. So I mean, that's Game of Thrones alone. If you're directing Game of Thrones, you've basically done a movie. I mean, that's just the production. So he did a really good job stepping into this world. Um, it sounds like you were just greedy. You just wanted more, huh? This is just what you needed. You just needed more of
Just
everything,
like
huh?
those that
You need
just
more on
like
the
the people
menu.
eating that delicious food on the island, man. I'm just greedy.
Delicious.
Some of
If you see
it
the
some of it
movie,
looked pretty good.
was
Some of
more
it
in
looked
line
good.
with Anya Taylor-Joy's character in terms of how the food looked. But my
What does
biggest
that say about
negative
me?
is the audience. I had a horrific time, by far the worst time I've ever had in a movie, and I wish I could have heard half of it. I heard this a lot, and look, I did one of these too many times to count. I did one of these. My back's turned and I'm looking. I'm staring at him. And I'm saying, "Hey, shut the F up." And at the very beginning, it was very intense by me and all of these children, well, first of all, there was many groups talking. It was not just kids. There was a group of probably 10 kids who the friend I was with said he knew a couple of them, and they were like eighth graders. I don't know how they're in this movie to begin with. This is a
Yeah,
rated R film,
true.
but I believe they were with their parents. But there was like 10 or 12 of them, would not stop. There was a group of people who talked through the whole movie. Um, there was another group who were speaking a different language through the whole movie, and it was really throwing me off. I didn't know if it was a culture thing or what's going on here, but why are we talking it all through this movie? There
Mhm.
was another group talking all behind me, every single one behind me. There was a group in front of me talking. It was too many that I didn't. At some point, I turned around the first time, hit them hard, and they all these kids were like shh shh shh, and they all just freaked out because I was really glaring. And after a little bit, they all started slowly perking up. And I turned my head throughout the movie to see if they'd be quiet. And I sat there thinking, do I go get an employee? But this is more than one group. It's not one group ruining it for everybody. It is half the theater will not stop talking. And this is the worst I've ever had. I've gotten in arguments with people I know because they've said they've had bad experiences every time since COVID that they've returned to the movies. I have not had that. I've had fantastic experiences so far. This is by far the worst since the shutdown. But we're not in your bedroom. We're not. Shut up. I didn't pay money. Some people in big cities, they're taking their family, they're paying $60 to $80, $100 for all the treats and everything. They don't want to hear you talk. You're not in your bedroom. Shut up. Shut up. I don't care. We're not. And when we left the movie, I was very vocal about how loud people were, and it
Mhm.
rings some nerves on some other people, and I do not care. I didn't point them out, but I was that guy. But it's because we're not at a concert. If I'm at a concert and I pay $100 to listen to somebody sing, of course people are going to be singing with them. I should be singing as well. But I'm
Mhm.
not at a concert. I am paying for people to shut up. And that's not what I received, and I was very upset by it. Um,
Mhm.
that's the worst thing about this movie to me. I thought the movie was fantastic, but people have some people have gotten lazy and they have gotten
Yeah.
stupid. And
Yeah.
they've just decided that this is their realm of talking. And look, I've been an idiot kid. I've talked through a movie, and I'm okay with the occasional little one-liner here and there. But that's not what this was. There were full-blown conversations going on in this movie. When we left, the people I was with said that was the most heated they had ever seen me in a movie. I lost it. It made me think of of all these TikTokers and stuff who are filming their reactions in movies. Shut up. I did not pay for this. I hate
Mm,
all of you. You're a menace to society. It's one thing when you're in the movie going experience and everyone's rallying with you and you're all screaming and crying and hollering. That's different. But this is the menu. We weren't at Avengers Endgame. Why are you talking? Anyway, that's
mm.
my rant. I'm over it. Anything else about this film?
I would encourage people to check it out. Hopefully, you don't have the same experience that
And
Alex
keep
does.
your mouth
Please
closed.
be polite to other people because we want a good experience, and that does not include hearing people talk about it. But I do encourage people to see it because it's a different kind of movie than what some may be used to. But I think they'll end up being just as surprised by how good it is as I was,
Fun little
and
horror
I
thriller.
recommend it.
Me too. All right, guys, what do you think? Comment below. Let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, share. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.